presentation, and hot topic right now is digital printing, so I thought let's bring some knowledge into this, and knowledge that we have acquired in different areas. So I'm gonna serve you today a 4-course meal. So after a little appetizer of what we are, what we do, just to understand what our position is in the market, I'll go into some numbers, studying trends, to convince you that there's big growth in the market. Then we go to very plenty of examples of what we can do with the digital printing right now in the Corrugated, and hopefully convince you that there's a value that customers are willing to pay. And when I've convinced you about the digital market, I'm going to tell you about how to integrate the digital printers that you purchase into your plant. And that's going to be the last part, is where we have a play, let's say, is that we provide some machines for that. Alright, so a little bit about that. We are in 30 minutes from Barcelona, humbled by the Serra factory, which is on the left, and we are the little ones on the right. But nonetheless, there's a big market on mechanic pieces that we have an advantage to outsource to. And our focus is good design, and we assemble as much as possible if we need to manufacture in our plants. So we basically assemble, and we're not increasing our plant space also. And a little bit about how we came to be. My grandpa was doing some repairs on some machines. Then at some point, father started founding a company. As you see, it's a family-owned business, and it had some growth up to a point where, after the Olympic Games in Barcelona, let's say we had time to think how to do things better. So we sort of recombined what we do, and we started doing, instead of doing all the big flexo folder growers or big flex machines, we said, let's concentrate in our scale. We are not too big of a business. We have about 15 workers. But the point was that what we do best, we sell around the world. And then we started doing smaller things, same as ambitious, but more proficiently. And then through then, we've been reaching all the world now. That's why in the last crisis, it's just providing very international, but very small. And lastly, in 2013, we were introduced in the market of digital printing, because the guy in Valencia, in USA, he was asking for digital printers and stuff, right? Took a background machine, and they needed some conveying systems, feeders, stackers, and all this stuff. And they asked, who is knowledgeable enough to develop this machine? And they chose us as a partner, and we delivered so far. That's why we got this little walk it up. So basically, what happens now, we are sort of the tailors of the market. And customers come to us and say, I need this. I need a transfer for my whole house. And we can manufacture this. Our products, though, are kits that are specifically designed for like batteries, for example. So we sell across the market to all the different machine makers. They are our main clients, basically. We also do some engineering for the machine makers as an outsource. And now, lastly, we have the peripherals as a new sector in this book. And then explain you how what the trends are telling us about the boom of the market. Okay, so here's a little graph about a pessimistic view on the printing market. And it's the the trends of the, you can see the blue line goes very, very low. That's good. This is the American newspaper market in terms of advertising revenue. So what this is saying is that advertisement-based businesses, if they're printed, they're not as effective. And you can see in contrast, the incomes of Facebook and Google are booming up. So what it's saying is that printed advertisement is not as much in printed, let's say. People are consuming a lot of online advertising, right? And the sole purpose of a box is not only advertising, it has another purpose, right? So that's why actually the corrugated business is not going down, it's actually still growing. Okay? And the growth we can see in Markets and Markets study they made a couple of years ago, I believe. Yes. And when they forecast, this is an analysis of all the different growth that you can expect in the so-called sustainable packaging. The one we're looking at the left is the paper and paperboard, right? That is what we're looking at here. We want to compare it to the corrugated market. What they forecast is a growth of 8%. Okay? Well, okay, that's a point of view. But what happens, not only in the whole paper corrugated, but in the digital part of it, right? There's another study, and that is Serra. They made a study on the digital side of all the packaging, right? Different point of view, from which you can see that in the let's walk in the screen. Okay. So the main part is labels. Let's say that if these are, say, 4 brothers, labels is the big brother. Okay? Now the big brother has been in the world for a long time and has had time to increase. And look at the amount of labels they're digital printing. Okay? Why labels first? Because labels is something very tiny. The printings are normally very tiny. But as we can see here, they are developing already the single pass. That's what I'm going to talk about. Okay? So what we see the corrugated is the ground part. It's a very tiny portion, about 7% of it, right? But nonetheless, the printing medium, the digital printing medium in this case, is growing at a rate of 17%. So that's more than 8. But in fact, we believe that in the corrugated market, the post-print single pass, and I'm going to come back to it and define what it means, it's going to grow about maybe 30 or 40%. So we believe that the boom is right now. Okay? And to understand why I say this, I'm preparing this slide. For every technology adoption, there's a little curve. Okay? And now, where are we at? We know that for the post-print single pass, which means this machine you can see here is a multi-pass, okay? You finish a board, the head goes back and forth, and the board moves and moves as a printer you might have at home, a little printer for your A4 sheets. This is multi-pass. For single pass, the first, say, drop on a sellable machine on the market was the award that together with Barbara we got in 2013. And for us, this is the beginning of the bell curve. Now, innovators have already chosen to partner with a specific brand. We know that there's these 6 brands, or 7 brands having digital printers out there, and a few of them are beta testing this year. Next year, they're going to be on the market. What's going to happen when they come on the market? It's going to boom up. Okay? So the market is there. The machines, some of them are there. Some of them are about to come. And we believe that this is a very quick growth. And I just prepared a little thing. A teacher of mine, he used to say that these kind of trends, and the trends we're going to face now, they're like a tsunami. Okay, and I really like this way of explanation because they make you think, right? And he was saying, his argument was, you want to be on the wave, surfing. Okay, you want to take advantage of this movement, so you can position yourself. You can say, okay, I want to partner, I want to buy this machine, right? Some of the people say, okay, I go out of port, so now it's not for me, and I position myself, so I get out. What is the position too? You might choose not to buy a digital printer, but you should not choose to ignore it. Because if you leave your boat in port, you might have problems. Right? So that's a little bit the expertise of my teacher. Alright. Now going back into barriers of adoption, and to close out this section a little bit, there was a survey in December 2015 that spoke about what do people think is the most difficult for adoption, to adopt this kind of technologies. And 29% of them said it's the cost. So we want to have the money to buy it, but we don't, right? Or it costs a lot of money, we have to think about it. And some others said it's uncertainty as how to adapt digital print technologies. Basically, how do we do it? What's the first step? And I hope that by today, what I explain to you will help you step forward in that direction too. And we'll tell you how to study about, how to go about it. Then there was 20% talking about regulations. That of course, there's been problems with some specific solvents in the UV ink part. Mainly, there was a big problem, recall of products. Baby milk. Baby milk is very sacred. You don't want to poison your babies. And both Nestle and Tetra Pak had to make a change in their production line. They had to remove ITX as a solvent because it was migrating into milk, although it was not directly bad for your health. But there's regulations that prevent that from happening, so they had to change it. They made it production change. That doesn't mean that all UV is bad or that all microwave you have to study on your own. There's no good way. And of course, they were like, there's other people saying that they said the inability to find the right partners to introduce the technology. For me, that means changing the stuff, right? In your companies, changing. Sorry, Google is not innovating anymore. They acquire companies. Change is very difficult, but digital technology, if adopted by the global corrugated market, we will have to change, and we will have to be prepared for that, right? So this is also a problem. Alright, let's talk about the different possibilities. And the different, and I'm gonna, appreciate this time. And I'm gonna talk about some values of the digital print. To start with, just briefly, we will see that the traditional print is defined or you can identify by masses. Like colors are one color, very specific tone, and like a big blob of it. And little realism and maybe standardization, you want to have big orders, right? And on the other side, the digital print will ask you for realism. Why is that? Because it's much cheaper to print if you sparkle dots around and you make a little curvy, and if you print a whole black background, but it's going to be much cheaper. So that's probably where the trend is going to go. And we will see color gradings and basically personalization, right? And mainly, what the digital print allows us to do is do a zero cost and change material to change the job. You pass from one job to the other job, it's not true. There's no extra overhead. And that's a big advantage. Of course, it will allow you much more, and you'll see the examples now. There's been in the same survey that I was talking about, they were asked, what kind of jobs do you think are going to go into digital? Okay? And in 2015, more than a year ago, 47% said that short orders, we'll do short orders. Then it was a 32% saying that, customization and personalization, which is more of the same basically. It's like making something special for the customer. That was going to happen. Then smaller portion would say that it will totally replace the present printing technologies. Well, although I don't believe it's going to be like erasing, maybe more like TV and radio. One's going to support the other one, and that's totally fine. But that was a little study, and what they were saying is that these might be the niches. And today I want to talk about a few niches that have been reported and studied. And then I brought some examples for you to have in your mind, some visual reference of what the value of the digital printer could be. For example, let's talk about short runs. That's a little niche of the market. Let's say you have some 20 turkeys that your grandma taught you to cook, and you're sending it over, you're sending it to your customer, that's what you show. You don't need 1 million boxes stored in your whatever your store. Right? What you do is you order, a month worth of boxes maybe, and you have it there. It's a brand that's not as optimized the cost of price is not as important for you as the fact that you have the boxes when you need them, right? That's really the best. Now, talking about short runs, you can have the display market. These are high graphics, high quality, very nice, very big, but you don't sell too many of these at the same time, so it's very short orders and very useful. Very much to the machine to the print. You also have short runs for some other campaigns. So, and here we start seeing that marketers are being very smart, combining these ideas and making these boxes like, wow, like this hasn't existed before. Like in this case, instead of we want to sell more furniture, and we might provide to figure out boxes to our customers. And if they look exactly as their furniture, once they move to their new home, and they have this box available, and maybe put it next to the website, this is nice. So this is some examples of how digital print picked up. In this case, because it's a short run, and they have a trail here, and we're in another market, we might do something else. Based on the same concept, that's what we did. Now we have the variable data as another value of the digital print. Right? We were able to print variable, completely random, like the case ahead, completely random, like this, or just different. Different and cyclical. You may say I want 20% of values, 47% of scope, and so on, right? Now, this is not a short run. In fact, I have some data here. They printed over 700 million packages. 750 million. And label-wise, 1 billion labels. All were printed with this campaign only. And the advantage of this is that they printed this across 35 different markets. In every market, they have different names. So they did statistics. So in this country, they have like 20% of Elizabeths. Or in that market, they have a big percentage of goods. Or things like this. So they were able to, with the same pattern, print these 3 differently in every of these 35 countries. They did this campaign. That's the value of the digital print. Now, some people have gone crazy mad about this names campaign and maybe it's not that. and started the same campaign. Well, I think the first one was successful, the second is not as much. And maybe by the third time somebody does this, it's nothing new, right? I don't want to buy and tell that with somebody else in it. But it was nice to see it the first time. So maybe people have to keep coming up with different ideas. Then, of course, there's different ways of doing variable data. These guys, the manufacturers of bulldog hand cream, they understand that bulldogs are puppies, and that's why they brand themselves like this. They're cuddly and they're soft. So they decide to print one different dog in every of their boxes. If the box is empty or half empty, you can still see the puppy, right? And for them, this is a value. So what they do is that in every, say, shipment of boxes, it's not completely random, it's right? They print picture 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then box it in one shipment, right? And then when they put the product in the boxes, the guys on the machine, or the machine itself, places it in different looking boxes. And this goes into the market, as you can see, you can see repetition. That can be done with this print. This, talking about print on demand, what Coca-Cola did that time with the Coca-Cola mayonnaise, that was serving in different countries the same standard. Okay? And that's something you can do with digital. There's not so much problem with color tones. Once you have the same supplier and the machine decides what something to build. If you have digital printers, not only in one place, but in different facilities around the world, you can build a whole lot of value by serving the customer right where it needs it. It is something maybe big companies can provide. What about this? This is a Aberfeldy. It's a whiskey company. They decided to make a very specific Christmas campaign, with the blues and the ball and the specific for the season. The Christmas hats and stuff. But they said, okay, we want to tailor for this specific moment. We know that maybe men are going to be traveling in airports. And they designed, from start to end, it was a 2-month period or so, a very short time. And then they said, okay, we're going to put this product only in airports in the specific sections. And they had a very short run of this, and it was very successful. Because it really caters to men that are on the go and this and stuff like that. So this is other values that this is bringing up for you. Also, this Brazilian coffee company decided to prove how fresh their coffee is. By what? They take the newspaper of the day and they print on the package the same label, the same filter. I think it's very smart. They outstand from the competition by basically it's not doing the value. Only digital printing of that to make sure to market content. What else? Well, I think everybody should know by now that the huge campaign millions is in Amazon. And this is starting to understand that you can personalize your products like this. And your reporting, it's a blank canvas that you can market to other people. So what about TVs? TVs are already marketing some TV shows on those screens. So you're going to see Game of Thrones better if you buy my TV, right? And they're probably having some income from the advertisement of this TV show while they could be marketing something else, right? It's a smart move, I think. Think about boxes this way. And of course, pizza boxes. There's all sorts of inventions of how to market pizzas. Well, pizza's already sold. The whole point is that, right? So when you say the canvas, what can I put here that appeals to my customers? And they might actually be ending up buying some toothpaste or some movies, I don't know, something close to that. So this is a few. I have a few more. There's a few. Those were a few things that corrugated boxes can do. And now we go into the small and tight segment with this smart packaging. Not so much digital, sometimes not so much corrugated, but still, nonetheless, good to know what's out there. Okay. In this case, for example, you can add an app that if you want to sell more ketchup, your app could actually overlay onto the label and make a augmented reality type of thing that allows you to find recipes. So if you have recipes to use ketchup, you're probably going to consume more of it, right? On the other hand, if you want to put a video into your packaging, I think it's impossible, right? But if you put this tag, it's not RFID, but this code, then somebody can come over and they can see the video about what your product has to offer. So it's different ways of attaching other media onto your packaging. We can also see different ways of converting your box into a game. You can do make your box look like a novel, as it might appeal to some people making their own cakes or buying yours, right? Or you can do very abstract and neat packaging. You can have paper toothpaste sort of packaging. And the latest and most crazy, I would say for the last, is probably not we're going to touch it, but we have to think about this kind of like intelligent ink, smart ink. There's some things like on the left brick or on the right pictures that change the color and until it gets to the expiration date. So they have a programmed color changing scheme. I have no clue how it works. And I don't think we have this for packaging yet. But it exists. And in the center there's something totally weird. This box, when you pick it up from the shelf, it starts glowing. It does some patterns of lights. It has some battery built in, some sensors. I think this is a little too much. But there's people doing very crazy stuff around packaging. Okay? It's our turn now to see what we bring to the market. And as a final on this section remark, just to understand that we sort of agree that digital has a value. It's this kind of survey, right? They were asked, how much do you think we can charge, or boxes are going to cost? Then 24% answered that you can increase 25% or more on the box cost. 44%, which was the biggest portion, said, well, about 10% seems right. Then 16% answered you can only increase maybe 5%, and some of them, the rest said maybe nothing. Maybe just the same price as ordinary. Maybe we should go to low cost cost. But I think that with this, we have a fair understanding of the value that digital brings to the market. Correct? And now let's, if I have some time, yes. I'll go into very quickly the digital part of integration into the plant. Now, the first thing that you need, and sorry for once on the other hand, but we can only point to one screen at a time. Digital printer is what you need, okay? But you have to feed some sheets, and at some point you'll have to dry, and you have to stack. That's the minimum thing that you need to think about. With this kind of setup, when you buy your digital print, and you know that the guy is going to have to be feeding the boxes, and of course it's kind of dangerous to be at the end stacking them, so the machine goes through everything. So it's a manual operated, it's the minimum thing you can buy. And we actually think that this is the smartest way to go at the beginning. Because at the beginning, don't think that you're going to sell all you produce. In fact, you're going to have a slowly increasing amount of orders you can print digitally. So it probably doesn't make sense to you buy the whole line, whole bunch of things that go around it, and I'll go talk about it. But maybe the first 6 months or 1 year, even if you don't like it, you might not be producing 100%. So this, you save money at the beginning, then you can build up peripherals as your progress, right? Where to go next? Well, there's some parts here, some dryers, and some primers and varnishes that actually make a difference between the UV and the water machines, right? So when you study the costs of how much one costs per print and the other, people say, oh no, the water-based ink is cheaper, and that's the end of it, right? Well, not really, because with water-based, you have to evaporate a lot of water, and then what you actually buy is the colors, the pigments, right? Now, if you look at pigment, maybe the prices are the same. Maybe one is higher, one is I don't know. But the point is that there's other factors in the cost, right? First of all, if you want to evaporate, you have to spend a lot of energy. If you want to curate, like the UV, you have a small dryer, and you have a bigger dryer when it's water, okay? And then, normally, I think brewers are different. Their point is no cross deck. My understanding is that they use no primer, no varnisher, but for argument's sake, in my diagram, I'm going to keep both in the diagram. But the point is that with the print cost comes the evaporation cost, the water that you do, and at the end, if you want to compare different costs of your boxes, you need to compare all these parameters. Okay, how much primer they're put, how much does it cost, how much energy do you compute, do you need a varnisher or not, how much does it cost per box. And all these factors, I encourage you to compare properly. Now, it's nice to have a couple of things more. So I'm keeping the primers and I'm keeping varnishers and I'm keeping everything, just for argument's sake. We do need a couple of things to know. First of all, the inkjet heads are very expensive. You do not want to break them. Okay? You don't want to get feed to the machine, something that is slightly wrinkled that would crash the printer. So what do? You install a control unit that detects the irregularities that can hit the head, and if there's a sheet out of a year or a month that is bad, you stop the machine and don't let it get it. That will save you a lot of money, believe me. And then on the other side, you might actually want a rejection system. It has different uses, right? You might want to say, okay, reject automatically these ones that are badly printed. I don't want them to be in my stack, so I deliver 100% with cost. The other option would be to say, I want to have a sample for my customer, and I don't want to start a production. So from the office, you know which kind of board is loaded into the machine. You might just want to squeeze in one extra print or something else, and then you go downstairs and you collect it and get it. There's no major problem with production. There's no major hassle they have to go through. They just lose one sheet, okay, which is fine. So there's different uses of this. So we think that this is good to have in your machine. If you order that, you just print, make sure that they have these components, okay? What else? And I've explained this many times, and some people, even some machine makers say, why do we need to turn the sheets, right? So let me explain. The corrugator, the last roll is the white roll. And as you can see here, white comes underneath. So from the corrugator, white comes under. There's this bunch of belts that bring the boards to the machine. Now, the inkjet is a little bit special. It wants to drop downwards, so they need the white on top, right? So that's something brush will have to do. And at the end, with whatever flatbed die cutter you use, and box is the standard for sizes and stuff and the qualities, it needs the white on top again. Because when you want to crease, make the creases at the same time that you do the cuts. You want to crease on a part, you want to crease maybe under, and you want to cut on the top. That's the best way you can do it, okay? So the point is that this is set up already, and we understand that we need to return. Now, there's different ways to think about the turning, and I'll try to go with the turning fast. You can have a central turner, you turn the whole 2-meter stack once. You can turn it at the beginning, then go back, then at the end, turn it again. There's some problems of conveyors and things going like that. You say, I don't have enough money, and I can buy 2 pilot turbines, okay? One at the beginning and one at the end. Well, that's also, right? That's a problem. And the guy is still feeding manually. So what can we do with it? What we propose, or we've seen that it's actually the easiest and cheapest solution, is to actually make a little machine that's sort of a tiny stack. We call it the counter ejector. It builds up piles like this. Now it gives enough time for a little machine, and very inexpensively, turn it on the other way around. Because the board is longer on this edge than that one, because you want to optimize the number of print heads. Therefore, your box normally is longer. And flipping it that side, the machine is more present, doesn't have to go to the sky to turn faster, okay? And then we have another fiber that builds up on top of these little tiles. And on the other side, what we propose is also the same concept, turning on the other axis, the pile, and then making a little loop. And on top of that, if you want to save the manpower of feeding the boxes, you can just put a new feeder on there, and you have the whole line integrated. Okay, so that's a little bit the whole picture of a printing line. Don't think that it's only the digital print that you're going to need. You need a bunch of things before and after. Okay? If you want the presentation, you can come to our booth later, and I can use another pen drive with it. So you'll have a copy. Now, I want to mention a little bit about the length. And the machine that you buy is going to be longer, even if it's curved like that, longer than the average flexo. So if you think that with 40 meters you can have enough, depending on the box size you want to print, it's going to be much longer. So it could be 50 meters, even more. So be careful with your plant designs, you have to take this into account. And a couple of things that we suggest that sometimes, and it's very valuable. We installed, for example, the slitter in Australia in digital print because they wanted to print the long side and have multiple sides, like a corrugator, but like vice versa. So you cut it. So you build the jobs and you cut at the end. So the whole point to maximize the printing size. And some development we have undergoing is to place a rotary die cutter here in this line, the first line, so you don't need to go into a different line, right? And what we make sure is that the order changes as fast as possible in this section. And now summarizing, the say bullet thing, please, and learn how. So if you want to buy a digital printing, you have to learn what the digital print can do for your customers. Hopefully, I've answered some of these questions, so if you're ideas that you might pursue and then find the answers for yourself. Then some niches are better than others for some people, so you might want to find what value you can bring to the market that nobody else can. Of course, you have to plan ahead. It's a big investment, and you will have to have the people ready to market this product. Because if you use the same structure, maybe you don't reach the customers as well. And at the end, you'll have to compare different digital printers, and hopefully I'll give you some pointers on how to do that. If you want a longer explanation, you can go to a group with my small right in the middle. And then whenever you've done all this, you can come to us and we'll chat about what we can integrate around it. Okay, give you some facilities without going, right? So thank you very much, and please come back to our booth. It's 8B5437. It's basically the red one in the middle with a lot of lights. Over there. Okay? So thank you very much. Thanks for your attention.